Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the Indian Factories Act. The Indian Factories Act was passed by the Parliament on 23rd September 1948 and it was enforced on 1st April 1949. The objective of this act is to regulate the conditions of working in the factories and to safeguard the interest of the workers. This act also ensures the health, safety, and welfare conditions of the workers. Before we go into the main provisions of the Act, let us see some definitions regarding the Act. The first is about factory. A factory is any premises or place where manufacturing process is carried out with the help of power and where 10 or more than 10 people are employed. If the manufacturing processes are carried out without the help of power, then there would be 20 or more than 20 workers. The second is manufacturing process. The manufacturing process include making, repairing, altering, oiling, finishing, treating a substance, pumping of oil, of water and sewerages. It also includes generating, transforming and transmitting of power, constructing of vessels, preserving of various materials and many things. The next definition is about worker. The person who is directly or through any agency employed in the industry. He may be a part-time or full-time worker. He may be permanent or temporary worker or any trainee person. Child, the person who has not completed his 14th year of age is called as child. Adolescent person, the person who has completed his 15th year of age but not completed his 18th year of age, that person is called as adolescent person. These are some important definitions in this act. Let us go to the main provisions of the act. First, we are going to discuss about the health provisions mentioned in the act. The first health provision mentioned in the act is about regular cleaning of floors, walls, workrooms, staircases, and many other things. Uh, Disposal of waste and effluents is expected. Proper ventilation and temperature should be maintained. Workroom should be free from dust and fumes. Prescribed standards should be followed in case of artificial humidification. In order to avoid overcrowding, at least a 4.2 cubic meter area should be provided to the workers. There should be sufficient and suitable lighting, whether it is artificial or natural lighting. Drinking water, separate latrines and urinals for males and females, and spittoons should be made available to all the workers. These are the health provisions. Uh, the safety provisions include that proper encasing and fencing of machinery should be done. If some machines are in motion, always in motion, at on these machines, while working on these machines, proper precautions should be taken care of, and no employment of young persons and women should be on those machines if they are not supervised and properly trained. In case of hoist and lifts, lifting machines, chains, ropes, and lifting tackles, uh, they should be properly designed. They should have proper and adequate strength, and they should be properly maintained so that they will not cause any kind of harm to the workers. No worker should be allowed to lift, carry, and move excessive weights. Precaution should be taken against dangerous fumes, explosives, inflammable gas, fumes, and dust. It is expected that precautions and safety measures should be taken against the fire. Uh, PPE protection, protective equipment should be used to avoid such kind of problems. The third provision is about provisions of welfare. In every factory, there should be washing facilities, There should be facilities for sitting, first aid appliances should be made available, there should be canteens, shelter rooms, restrooms, lunch rooms should be made available to the workers. If women workers are working there in the factory, and if they have children under 6 years of age, they should be made available with the creches. And if there are more than 500 workers in the company, welfare officer should be appointed in such cases. The next are the provisions of working hours. It is expected that no worker shall work more than 9 hours in a day and 48 hours in a week. There should be a holiday in a week, and after 5 hours of continuous work, there should be an interval or a break. If some workers are going to work for extra time, that is overtime, they should be paid double wages or extra wages for their work. There should be restrictions on double employment of the workers. The next provisions are about the employment of young persons and women. Uh, if women employees are there in the factory, the timing of working hours shall be from 6 a.m. in the morning to 7 p.m. in the evening. If there are non-adult workers, they should not be allowed to work at night from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. Non-adult workers have to produce fitness certificate at the time of recruitment. If they do not have fitness certificate, they cannot be employed in the factories. The working hours for the adolescent persons would be 4.5 an hour, and the register would be maintained for such kind of employees. There are some provisions of leaves. Uh, in a academic year, in a calendar year, a 1 day paid leave for every 20 days will be given to adult worker, and a 1 day paid leave for every 15 days will be given to the non-adult worker. There are some special provisions in this act also. If there are some dangerous operations, in such a cases, the women employees and non-adult employees will not be employed on those machines. And if adult workers are employed on those machines, proper precautions will be taken care of, and they will be given some PP, personal protective equipments, and regular medical checkup of those employees will be there. If there are accidents in the factory, the manager has to bring into the notice of the inspector. If there are some diseases because of some processes, or the worker has some diseases, uh, the manager is going to inform those diseases to the inspector. If these provisions or these rules are not followed or disobeyed by the all these people, workers, employers, uh, managers, and inspector, there are certain penalties also. If the employer and the manager are going to disobey the rules, they are not if they are going to contravene the rules, they will be fined, or they will be imprisoned, or both will be applicable to them. If a worker is going to disobey or contravene the act, he will be fined. And if the instructor is going to disclose information about the manufacturing processes, he is punishable for a fine and imprisonment, or both. So these are the important provisions in the act. I hope this information is going to be very much useful for the students of law, of managers, workers, and employers. Thank you so much for patience listening.